May was easily the worst month that we've had in years. Let's talk about it. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new. It is time for a monthly reset. So we are going to recap our May goals, our May budget, talk about May favorites, books read, just kind of recapping what all I was up to in May, and then talk about what we are planning to be up to in June. As always, I have already filmed a dedicated June plan with me video, so if you want to see how I set up my planners for June, check out that video. Also filmed a dedicated June budget with me video, so if you want to see our June budget set up for June, then check out that video. But for now, we're hitting the ground running and diving right in with our May budget recap. Okay, so for goals, we wanted to, well, goals, tasks, to-dos, we wanted to invest, I'm gonna switch this up. So I'm just gonna tell you the things that we did and then the things we didn't do. So we invested 15% of our paychecks, paid our monthly credit card bill, purchased book club books, paid my husband's college tuition, paid our semi-annual car insurance, turned in my mileage for work, bought one of our book club members a gift card. I also contributed to that gift card. I bought it, I collected money and purchased it and sent it to her actually. I also wanted to contribute to a gift card or a gift or something for my coworker whose spouse passed away. And then also I wanted to do some random acts of kindness. Those two do count as random acts of kindness, but I also did some other things that were not planned. And then also random acts of kindness do not have to be monetary in nature. And then I wanted to pay for marriage counseling, and we did all of those. The things that we did not do, clearly I didn't book a hair appointment. I didn't book a laser hair removal appointment, though I tried. I did try, but it's not important. It's just like a running thing that I'll get to when I get to it. I wanted to buy my friend a birthday gift, but because she was going out of town and I wouldn't see her, we decided we would get together early June. It's June now, so any day now, and then I'll give her her stuff then. And I haven't purchased it, but I know what I want to get her, but I just need to, like, I could literally swing by and pick it up before we get together for her celebration. I think we're gonna do like lunch or dinner where she can come to my house or I can go to hers, whatever is clever, whatever works for us. I wanted to schedule the OBGYN, which I didn't do in May, but that's because I had an epiphany that instead of paying $300 for a pap smear, since I have to pay for them out of pocket, since I have a new insurance, I can just have my primary care physician's office do it. The only caveat is I love my OBGYN, and I was going to her for years prior to learning that I was not going to be able to go to, well, I can still go, I just have to pay out of pocket. It's no longer 100% covered through my insurance, which is wild. So that's the only caveat, is that I liked her, loved her. I don't mind my doctor's office doing it, but I just really liked my girl Catherine. She was lit. And I wanted to submit W-2s, but I heard back from the IRS. They can't find my W-2s, so had they been able to, I would have been able to submit them, but they can't find them. So I'm gonna figure out how to get them, or I can just dead it. At this point, I'm kind of over it, but I'm gonna see what I can come up with. And then we wanted to prep our pool, except all of the rain has impacted our new patio, and we extended our patio out to accommodate for our above ground pool, but all the rain has impacted our concrete's ability to fully cure. It's fully cured now, but it was raining so much in May that it was kind of slowing up the process, and now it's still going to rain. So basically it's kind of like rain and thundering and lightning and all of that is expected for the foreseeable future, for the next like week and a half. So it's kind of like, do we need to put up the pool now? Like, it's just been raining a lot here in Georgia, so the pool might not be up until mid-June or later, which is fine because it could stay up until almost October here in Georgia. So those were the goals, tasks, and to-dos. Let's talk about our monthly budget, and then I'll share with you any spending that kind of stood out. And I can tell you now, we probably spent more money in May than we have in any month ever, besides the months where we were like investing a lot or paying off a lot of debt or, you know, something like that. I think May was probably our largest spending month, I'd say, ever. Also not the month where we like buy a house or a car or something, because obviously, but just for like a regular month, it was expensive. But for our monthly budget, we paid all of our bills. I feel like I don't even need to elaborate. We paid all of our bills for May. And let's see about our paydays. I got 2 mileage checks from work. I got a bonus. I got 2 regular paydays from work. And then my husband got 2 regular paydays. So we had a decent income month. That's just from our full-time job. That does not include any side hustle money or anything like that. So let's talk about this spending and see what stands out. One, we went to a Cat Williams concert. The tickets were free, but we did have to pay some money to park there at the arena. And then we also bought some stuff inside of the arena. So that kind of stands out for me. My husband got his hair done in May. I'm trying to see what stands out. My husband needed to get a transcript, a college transcript in May. That was $10. I'm just saying, it stands out. A shirt. I have 2 things on here for a shirt. 2 shirts. Oh, is that my, I know what it is. It's my husband likes to buy shirts from like concerts and comedy shows or whatever. So I'm like, what are we doing with the shirt? We don't ever buy clothes. That's what that's about. So that does stand out. We paid for Peacock in May. That stands out. That was $1.99. We got our lawn tended to, which, by the way, my neighbors are getting their lawn tended to. Actually, if I talk loud, I think I can talk over them. So anyway, that's happening right now. We also had to pay a toll from, literally, this is from Florida. We were in Florida like a year ago. Is it Florida? No, it's a Georgia toll, but it was from like, it's from 2024. Why we're just getting it in the mail, I'm not sure, but it was $6.70. Let's see, what else did we do? We went to marriage counseling. That's not out of the ordinary. Oh, one major thing is we extended our patio with concrete, which after lots of research, turns out that that was the best way for us. So that was $4,000. So that contributed to our overall expenses. I did like a random acts of kindness situation and contributed to a certain cause for $25. I'm trying to like think of stuff that's standing out. Our 6-month car insurance was $1,271. We will not have to pay our car insurance again until November. We pay our car insurance every 6 months because we save like $300 to $400 by not paying it monthly. Monthly sounds appealing, but honestly, when you consider the savings, it's not worth it to me. Let's see. What else did we do? We went to Krispy Kreme, which is random. That was $6.25. We went to the drive-in movie theater, I think twice, once for $20. And then, oh, my husband's college tuition was $2,542. So we paid that. And then we also paid for my husband's, he had to take it's called a GACE exam. It's for teachers. It was $141. I bought something for our patio. So in a perfect world, I would be furnishing our new patio with lots of pretty furnishings, but we ain't got no money to buy the furniture because of the increased amount for the tuition, having to get our shower repaired, which is going to happen any day now, all of that. So we're going to have to push off that at least for like a month and revisit the furniture situation. Another thing, I bought something for the patio that was $101.07. And basically it's this huge storage container that is, I mean, this thing is massive. Me, my husband, you, and your friend could fit in there. That's how big it is. I didn't really realize it was that big, but it's great. You can lock it. It's waterproof. Love it. I contributed to another random acts of kindness situation for $25. We bought a new hookah, and when you buy a new hookah, then You don't have to buy new supplies, but we did go ahead and buy a bulk set of Kohl's and Flavors. And then I feel like we bought something else, but they came out like in multiple. Oh, and I bought a cooler nightstand. No, a cooler side table for our patio. And those are the only two things that we purchased. And all of those kind of came out at various times, but one of the transactions was $43.38, another was $26.79, another was $65.09, and another was $68.83. We rediscovered Wingstop, aka discovered Wingstop's hot honey rub flavor and tenders, and those have had us in a chokehold. So we went there for $37.79. Then we went back again for $43.50. Then we had to pay our Capital One annual fee for our credit card. That was $95. We bought something for the house at Home Depot. I think it was this liquid so my husband could pressure wash our house. That was $33.61. We got our cars washed at this car wash drive-through type of place here in our city. And that was $11 for both. So $11 for me, $11 for my husband. And then I told you we went to the movies again for $10. I already mentioned that. Oh, I bought a grad gift. The cash portion was $40, but the other portion was much more, was valued at way more than $40. But the cash part was $40. And then I had to pick up a prescription from Walgreens for $30.82. And then something else from Amazon for $23.43. So those were all of our unusual expenses, if you will, for May, which brings the final amount for how much we spent in May to $13,344.69. I mean, my office is the ideal place for filming, but I was like, why should I just sit here and wait for him to finish and try to film in between stuff when I can just move? So that's what I've done. Anyway, as I mentioned, besides the months where we have purchased a car or a house or something like that, this is probably a hefty month coming in at $13,344.69. But those are our monthly finances. Let's talk about let's reflect on the month of May. So, you know, May was not that great when I have two highs and I have more lows than I do highs. So for highs, our Cat Williams date night was super fun. And then also getting our patio extended was a high. And so when I was thinking about my high moments, which I love to capture them, I was, of course, thinking about the times in the month where I was thinking, and I had enough sense to sit by the blanket holder thingy, blanket basket. I was thinking about the times in May where I just was basking in the moment and feeling like life was worth living. That's what I define as a high moment. And so I had two of those. I had some decent moments, some fun moments, if you will, but none of them, I wasn't basking in any others besides those two. Yeah, that's it. So for lows, my coworker's spouse's death. Oh yeah, I forgot I sprained my back or something. And I was not immobile, but not moving as I typically would for a couple of days. But I bounced back from that pretty quickly. I put marriage counseling was a low, and that's because I don't think that the session was, I don't know if it was a session or if we shouldn't have even gone. But it was a low. Final Destination was a low because I felt like it was very mid and I could have gone without seeing it. We spent May binge watching the Final Destination series in preparation for FD6, and it was not giving. And then also our shower issue. So our shower has to be repaired. Why I thought this was going to be a cheap thing, I have no idea. In fact, I thought we could do it ourselves. Not at all. This is a 4-figure repair, and that is because the support system is ruined. So we could try to say that it maybe wasn't installed properly, but it's kind of hard to tell because we've been living here for, I think going on 6 years, maybe going on 7 years. So it's kind of hard to blame it on that. But either way, we noticed there was a crack in the shower. It eventually would crack further. And then we knew it was, we stopped using the shower and used a different one, but we knew it was a big issue when the water started coming through the ceiling. There's currently a water stain up there. There are water stains right here in the living room. However, the people are coming today to start the repair. So whenever they're finished, I guess is when we can try to paint over this to cover up the water stains. They're still wet right now, so they have to dry. So I think it's like a mixture of they're still wet, plus it's going to be a stain. So fun times for that. That's how we know the whole support system is needing to be repaired. And that's why it's so expensive as well. So that was annoying. For favorites, for our Cat Williams date night, we went to this Brazilian steakhouse, and they have this grilled pineapple that they bring around along with the meats, and the pineapple is so good. In fact, if it didn't cost, I think $49.99 per person to get the meat and the bar, I would go there today, because that's how, like, it just lives rent free in my head. I love going whenever we go there. We only go probably once every year and a half, 2 years. Not a lot, but when we can, we do go. If it wasn't so expensive, we would probably go more often. But yeah, it lives rent free in my head at all times. In fact, I shouldn't have brought it up because now I want to go today. My personal rings planner is a favorite. That's my new girly pop. Comedy shows, we went to 2. We were going to go to a 3rd one, but then we learned about the shower issue and all that. So we decided to stop spending unnecessary money. Another favorite was our Final Destination binge. That was fun. Of course, our new patio, also patio shopping. I've loved patio shopping. I was in a phase where I was shopping because I was ready to purchase, and then that kind of phased out, and now I'm window shopping for patio furniture, but that's still fun too. Also, organizational tools that I have acquired. New bookish supplies, because I went to a book crafter event and got a lot of book supplies. That was fun. You know what was kind of a high, but like not really? Maybe I should put it on my favorites. I went to a new bookstore. It's a book cafe, and went there with one of my book club members, and then she invited a friend who lived in the area, and that was a fun time. I'm not gonna lie, but it wasn't a high moment by any means, but it was fun. Champagne, of course, is always a favorite. I'm currently reading Kennedy Ryan's Can't Get Enough, and that is proving to be a favorite. Our new hookah is a favorite, and we got that one because it's very nice. It's very fancy. I've only smoked it once since we got it last month, but that's because I don't smoke hookah a lot, just occasionally. But anyway, I don't know if my husband maybe has smoked it a couple more times than me. I'm not sure, but we still have our old little mini baby one. But we got that one because we noticed that a lot of, I guess, like clubs and lounges and such have been having that one. So we upgraded to that one because it's fire. So smooth. I hosted I was the host house for a brunch. I technically wasn't the host. My friend had brought it up as an idea. Like, we should do brunch. Like, let's get together. You know, I'm always down. And they inquired if we could use my house. And so I was like, sure, I'll do the decorating. One person brought the like sangria or something she made, some kind of drink, and then the other person whose idea it was cooked. So I was the host house, but my little brunch setup was cute. I just threw together whatever I had to make it work, and I think it was cute. I do have a nice tablecloth, but I used to have a rectangle table, and so the tablecloth is for the rectangle table. So at some point in life, I want to get a round one since I have a round table now, but I just had to make do with what I could. And then also I have been using this lemon water perfume from TJ Maxx, and it is elite. It's great. I love it. Like, love it down. Okay, let's talk about lessons. I honestly don't have any recollection of what brought about some of these lessons, which is on par for every month, but I'm gonna try. One I have is growth is essential. I'm gonna assume that this maybe came about, actually, I don't know. I'm not even gonna lie, but it's a recurring theme in my life. I'm always thinking about how I can grow as a person. To me, it makes no sense I know people go through life without really trying to grow and evolve and push themselves, because that's what it's a matter of. But I'm always trying to push myself, just like to be a little bit better than what I was yesterday or last year. You know, if another 5 years pass and I'm just as impatient as I am today, then I don't know. I just feel like what was I doing? Like, I wasn't working at all to be a little bit more patient, you know? So growth is essential in my world. Also, I put on here that I am not petty, nor do I have ulterior motives. I was thinking about that because, well, I don't know the exact reason, but I know, like, when I was thinking about it, it was earlier in May, obviously, because it's the second one on here and I write them in order. But I was thinking, like, I am just not a petty person. I don't have ulterior motives, like, whatever. That's just not who I am. So you just have to assume that if I'm asking you a question or this or that and the third, is not to be petty at all, because that's just not who I am. Also put on here logic over emotion, and I put in parentheses DBT, and that was to remind me of why that came about. I incorporate elements of DBT with some of my students, and I remember doing an activity with one of them, and we were just kind of talking about that, about the logical mind, the emotional mind, and the wise mind. And yeah, logic over emotion any day for me. And then I have on here, some are not committed to growth. So I just said that, which was a lesson that I learned. And then I learned about vulnerability and wholeheartedness. I learned more about it. I am currently working through Brené Brown's catalog, and in May I read Daring Greatly, which was probably one of my favorite books of all the books that I've read. I've read like 7 books of hers, and I'd say that one was my favorite and the one that I would recommend that anybody read. And I just learned so much. Also learned, speaking of vulnerability, that I am not as vulnerable as I would like. So that's another thing I'm working on. And then I put on here that I like champagne, but champagne doesn't like me. But I don't think it's just champagne. I think it's just alcohol. Like, I enjoy a cute little drink. I'm a drink girly through and through. I love all drinks. Coffee, tea, water, flavored water, loaded water, champagne, mojito, margarita. I could, a hard seltzer, a soft seltzer, a regular seltzer, Coke, Sprite Zero. I mean, I could go on and on. I just love a cute little, fun little drink. I just love a little drink. I just have multiple drinks normally on me. I always have a drink somewhere. It's either water or something. I got a drink, okay? I'm a drink girl. And I just don't think alcohol likes me. I don't know that it ever has, but I definitely don't think that it does as I'm getting older. So those were all of my lessons. I feel like that was kind of fast. Let me show you my mood board while we're here. Okay, so we went to this rooftop bar, and they had like $4 sangrias. Yes, please sign me up. So that is that. For one of my last sessions with my students, she wanted to draw and color, so we colored. I follow her lead. That's mine, that's hers. I have her, I think she signed it, but I have her name covered up, obviously. That is us at one of our dates. I think that was at the steakhouse, actually. That's my new planner. She's so cute. That's we had a family day here with my husband's family, as we do every month, so that's us. I read One Summer in Savannah because, well, it was available on Libby for free. I live close to Savannah, and it just seemed like a vibe, and I liked it. Oh, I went to a book crafter event, and we were blinging out our books. I was going to do my whole cover, but I gave up, so I just ended up blinging out the razor blade and the tears with a black bling. Daring Greatly. I don't think I put all the books I read on here. That's my puppy girl. That's our new hookah. It's by the brand Dud. Perhaps I'll have it linked, but I don't know if I want to link a hookah. Like, of all things to link. That seems strange. That's my planner. These are some flowers in the backyard. Love them. Can't get enough that I picked up. I never buy a physical book, but I bought it because we were going to that book cafe. That's the brunch setup. That's the new patio. That's me at the book event. Is that all? And then another photo of my puppy right here. You can barely see her, but there she is. Okay, let's move on to May goals. This should be fast. So I wanted to take a personal day. Didn't matter the day, but I just put May 31st on here, and that is the day that I took a personal day. I wanted to read 4 books, ended up reading 5. I read One Summer in Savannah, which I loved, Daring Greatly, which I loved, Bits and Pieces. Let me start over. One Summer in Savannah by whoever that author was. Who was that author that I showed you? Tara Shelton Harris. That was a 4-star read. Daring Greatly by Brene Brown. That was a 4-star read. Then I read My Life in Bits and Pieces. No, Bits and Pieces. My Brother. Nope. Bits and Pieces. My Mother, My Brother, and Me by Whoopi Goldberg. And I would need to go to my book tracker to see what I rated it. Probably like a 3. I liked it good enough, but I could have gone without reading it. That's how I determine a 3. A 3 or below is something that I could have gone without reading. Still Waters, which I loved, but it ends with like a cliffhanger, and I have never read a book that says to be continued, and it literally like kind of climaxes and then it says to be continued. So I need to read the second one. So I loved the first one, but I don't know, I feel like I don't have the whole story, so I need to read the second one. So there's that. And then also I read How to Stay Married in May by, I forgot who it's by. It's by some man, but I don't really, I guess it was kind of like a memoir-ish, but like it didn't really, I don't know. It was an odd phenomenon. It was an odd read. Definitely rated it a 3 or less because it just kind of talks about their marriage. But like, that's it. I don't know. It wasn't what I was expecting, which is fine. Like, I read books not knowing what I'm getting into all the time. It's my preferred way to read a book. I'll figure out if I like it after it's over. I don't need to read a book that I know I'm going to like, So sometimes I'm just like, that was mid. Then I'm like, I love that or whatever. So I don't really care. It's not that big of a deal, but it was definitely mid. Those are the 5 books that I read in May. So I read one more than I intended. I wanted to schedule the OGBYN, which I didn't. Grow my nails, which I did but didn't. Like, they're growing, but then I also bite them, but then they grow some more. It's an odd phenomenon. Didn't schedule my hair appointment. Didn't schedule a laser hair removal appointment. And I didn't buy perfume in... Did I buy perfume in May? No, I didn't buy perfume in May because I don't need to. I will probably run out at some point in June, and then I'll go buy some more. So I'm sure that's on my June goals, but I didn't need to in May. For family, we did not do a lot of the projects, but we did extend the patio, pay my husband's college tuition, and pay car insurance. And a lot of our projects are just little things that we need to do that I've noticed that it would be great if we did them, but it's not life or death. But I just like to keep a running list of all the little projects that we need to work on. We did invest 15% of our paychecks. I put save whatever, knowing that we wouldn't save any, and that's accurate. So technically, since whatever could be 0, we achieved that. I did a lot of the action steps from the relationships category to include scheduling friend dates, catching up with a friend, hosting family/friends, did that twice, celebrating and helping at least one person. Probably did that 3 or 4 times. Went to marriage counseling, celebrated our half anniversary. That was the whole purpose of the whole Cat Williams and Brazilian steakhouse dinner date. We did not go to the charity event for financial reasons and because it's very inconvenient to drive all the way there, to be honest, and back on a school night. Like, it's just like a whole evening activity, I feel like. So we skipped it. And then I was going to buy my niece a bus ticket, but that's still TBD. I have it queued up. I'm ready to pull the plug, but there are some other factors that may prevent her from coming. So I don't know if the girl's coming or not. She wants to, but we'll see. For career, I wanted to complete my end of year checklist, which I did. Then I wanted to secure one sponsorship. I did not. However, I did apply for one. And should I secure it, I would know in June, and that would be a big sponsorship. So cross your fingers. We will see. I did want to plan my videos monthly and then film 2 videos weekly for a total of 8. Let's see how many videos. I know I skipped one in May. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Because May was so long, I ended up doing 9 videos, I think. Definitely 8, so achieve that. And then for health, I wanted to schedule workout days weekly, which I do via my workout scheduler. Lose 4 pounds, which I did. And then low carb, low calorie. I did decent there, but not really. So we're not going to check off that. Let's move to the June goals. For June, I want to take a personal day. I am off of work every last day in June. So quite literally, I can take one whenever I want. But I'm going to aim for June 14th. I want to read 4 books, though I have many listed. I am currently already read a couple books so far in June, but I also want to finish reading Can't Get Enough. I want to read King of Ashes by S.A. Cosby, which comes out in June, my favorite author. Plus Size Player by Danielle Allen comes out in June. I wasn't obsessed with the first book in the series, but I just have to see it through, so I'm gonna read the second book. And I just feel like authors are going to improve in their writing, you know, as they progress. So I don't just give up on a series just because, you know, I don't just give up just because maybe book 1 wasn't that great. So we're gonna try that. I want to read Matriarch by Tina Knowles. That's Beyonce's mama. And then I also want to read 7 Days in June by Tia Williams, which I feel like I should read because it's gonna be June. So it's on my TBR for June, because for no other reason than because it's June. But I do think I've heard through the grapevine that it's not really about the month of June, but rather the character's name is June. But either way, in my head, it's a book that needs to be read in June. So I'm gonna shoot for reading some kind of mixture of those 4 books. For self-care, I think I want to do all the same things that I normally do. Yeah. I don't think anything's changed there. No, for family, we have those same types of tasks on here in addition to, I'm going to a D-Stash event in June for planners, like a planner D-Stash bash. And I have it in my head, I'm going to collect 100 items to D-Stash. I know what you're thinking, Shay, do you have 100 planner items to D-Stash? Or wouldn't decluttering or D-Stashing 100 items consist of your whole collection? Sort of, kind of. So when I think of 100 items, I'm thinking I might come up with 15 washi tapes to D-Stash. I might come up with 5 highlighters and 3 pens and 2 markers. I might be able to come up with like some small sticker sheets. So I'm going to try to come up with 100 items, even if they're like little bitty paper clips, like cute little paper clips and stuff. That's what I'm aiming for. If I were to do 100, I don't have 100 large items to D-Stash, but like even little stuff. 100 seems wild, but that's what I'm aiming for. So in addition to continuing to declutter upstairs, which I'm still working on, I've been working on that for months, I also want to declutter my planner supplies in preparation for this event, which is actually next weekend. So I have a few things collected, like 10. So I need like 90 more. Repair our shower. Change the batteries in one of our like monitors in our house. And then I have on here to complete the front landscaping. That's wishful thinking. It might get done. We do have edging for it, so we just need some fabric and then maybe a few plants and some mulch. So like in theory, it could be maybe like a $50, $60 project. So that's on here. And then invest 15% of our paychecks, another month of saving with whatever. And then for relationships, same things. For career, mine is completing the end of year checkout, which I've already done. Same things, aka starting studying for my exam. That's the major thing. Securing one sponsorship. Same thing for business, planning videos monthly, filming 2 videos weekly. Same stuff for health. So, although since I'm off work, I could probably tap in with maybe some 2-a-days, or even with, you know, essentially trying to lose more than 4 pounds, but we'll leave it at what it is for now. I need you to know I have fought for my life trying to finish this video because I started, then the neighbor's lawn care company came, then that's across the street, and then this person came. Like some guy's been out there working. I don't know what he's doing. So he came. Our pest control lawn care servicer came. They come randomly throughout the month. I don't know when they're coming. You know, them being here hasn't been that big of a deal, but it triggers my puppy girl and she starts acting crazy. So whereas this could have been filmed in maybe 30 minutes max, I probably took an hour to film it, but we're here. I made it until the end. Anyway, that's gonna be it for this video. I hope that you guys enjoyed it. If you did, give this video a like, subscribe if you're new, and if you're liking what you're seeing, and I will catch you guys right back here in a few days in a brand new video. Bye guys.